Hey guys, Kate Klein here, registered dietitian and creator of the Empowered Healing Program. And I'm excited in this video to have Kathy sharing her journey through her program and with her experience with the MRT food sensitivity test. Now, I hope some of you will listen if you have been considering other food sensitivity tests or other programs, because what happened with her is she started this exploration into helping with her migraines about 4 or 5 years ago. Went to a functional medicine practitioner and they told her to do the Everly Well food sensitivity test. So some of you might remember I did a video in the past comparing different types of tests, and I talked about why IgG and IgA food sensitivity tests aren't really what I would recommend spending your money on. So sure enough, when she did this, it didn't work. It didn't help resolve her problems. So her doctor then just ran more tests, did more labs, threw a bunch of supplements at her. And when that still didn't yield results, actually ended up convincing Kathy that there must be something underlying, some autoimmune issue or a serious condition. And so she was instructed to simply keep repeating this subpar test every 3 months and just keep shifting her diet. There was no end game in sight. It was just keep going because maybe this is keeping you from feeling worse. So she found me after she'd already been doing this for 4 years and still had the migraines, but now also had fatigue and food anxiety from this restrictive list and constantly changing list of foods. Those of you who followed me for a while, you should know that you should never have to be on a restricted diet for that long, other than, maybe an occasional food here or there that just doesn't mesh with you. But if so, you're not fixing that root cause. So I was hesitant to run yet another type of food sensitivity test on her because of her history and because of the past and the food anxiety. But I also knew that the MRT, it works for migraines. It's a far superior quality for testing. So we ran it, we agreed, and I kind of talked to her through the hesitations I had, but we wanted to try. And so here she is, about 6 weeks through the program, nearly migraine free, more energy, expanding food list with treats, including, she'll share, are talking about how to incorporate like a cocktail or go traveling with her husband and feel like she's participating in life again, finally. So this 15-minute recording is kind of her sharing her experience. I asked her how she's doing now, how the program went for her, things that surprised her, how it compared to the past 4 years, and her thoughts in general on tackling this program. So a huge thank you to Kathy for sharing her story with us.
Doing really well. Just all over. Feel good. I'm I'm surprised because even when we started, I was extremely skeptical. My husband was skeptical. We were just like, well, she said if it didn't work, she'd give me my money back. So let's give it a whirl. In general, just the even without a headache, before was feeling like just run down, overwhelmed almost. And I just feel like I still have days where I'm tired. I still have days where I don't sleep great, but overall, I'm definitely participating more in life and just able to handle things a lot better. So I'm not having to take breaks as frequently during the day when I'm doing just household chores or taking care of the kids. I'm able to play during nap time instead of having to take a break. The food anxiety is so much better. Like just when I went on our trip and we went out to dinner, I ate at restaurants or I took takeout, and I was very specific in how I ordered and everything, but I wasn't nervous about it. Whereas the last 3 years, I have been so terrified of food that every time I order something, I'm so nervous that, oh, what if it's the garlic that's going to make me sick, and I'll never feel good again. And it's just, because I didn't have a good day. And then now I'm feeling like if I eat something new and I flare up, I will be able to come back down in a day or two and it will be okay. And then I know, where instead of just the guessing that I've been doing for so long and associating every headache with what I ate that day and then just eliminating so many foods. And now I'm a lot more open to trying things. I had corn and popcorn and I hadn't had that in 4 years. So it was just really nice to feel like a normal person and watch a movie and eat homemade popcorn.
That is awesome.
Just, yes, the
Daunting.
anxiety, but also just like, it's stress management, kind of like just being able to handle the pressures and handle what's coming my way every day is just, I'm happier. I'm happier because I feel better. I just feel better.
It goes together amazingly.
Yes. And so like, I think I wrote something on my last check-in about like, what tequila are you using for these margaritas?
Oh, that's
Like
right.
6 weeks ago, I would never have considered that. Like, I was like, yeah, I mean, that'd be great, but I'm probably never gonna have a drink again. But now I'm like, well, my husband's sister's wedding is in the end of August. I just might have a cocktail. Like, this might be exciting. I feel like this program and working with you has just been such a healthier mindset rather than, well, you don't feel good, just keep going. Just keep going. You're still not feeling better, then keep going until 4 years passed of not eating anything that made me feel better. Like eggs that were in my phase 1 food, but I hadn't eaten them for 4 years because once upon a time I was told not to eat eggs. And now I'm mixing them in a stir fry and enjoying it. And, it's a great protein option. It's quick, it's lunch, it's easy. Was just getting started, going through it's a little daunting going through the kind of detox phase and feeling like it's like much to eat and you're feeling crummy. I think that's the hardest. But I think the fact that you pre-warned that several times and made it very clear what to expect, it was like, okay, well, it's nice to be textbook. It was a little bit easier to swallow.
Good.
I mean, I just had to kind of get into it, like just, I still didn't really going in understand like how the phases were going to work. Like adding things in one at a time sounds crazy. And it's like, there's really no way you can do that, right? Like there's an infinite number of foods. When will you ever get there? But it's kind of like, okay, but by the time you get to the things that are off of this list and you're really off the grid, you've kind of had time to heal. So it's not as scary. Like I think that's psychologically helpful to me. I'm like, okay, these are the safe things. And now I've had, 8 weeks that I haven't even challenged something difficult. So I feel safe going into it, Everything just went as you said it would. So I wasn't really surprised other than feeling better. That was a nice surprise, but that was the goal. So
good. Did anything surprise you? Well, I mean, you've mentioned a couple things that kind of surprised you in your list, like that you were allowed to eat eggs and popcorn.
I haven't had cashews for a long time because those are always showing up on the IgA, whatever it is. And so that was nice too, because I had different recipes and things that I could do with cashews. And, I've never gotten to do those vegan cheese recipes because I've never gotten to have cashews. So that was surprising. And then I guess I was surprised in the yellow about the olive oil, because for 4 years that's been my only salad dressing, and I eat a salad every single day at least once. And so I'd been really leaning on that. So it was and cauliflower. I mean, who reacts to cauliflower? But who knew? You shared with the rotation diet of how, like, that could be for some people, for most people you don't have to do it. That's what I'd been doing as well. I didn't call it that, but they had told me don't eat the same food in 24 hours. And so it was just another level of fear, well, I had beef last night. So now we're going over to your mom's and she's making hamburgers and I can't even eat because I had that yesterday. And it was just so much. And I just feel so much relief. And I think that just, you always hear that stress is affecting your health. That's what every doctor has told me for 4 years. You're too stressed. You're too stressed. Well, what do you want me to do? Throw a kid away? Like, I have a stressful life. But then going with the inflammation that is happening inside that you can't see is a stress. And I think that there was a slide that you showed that when you talk about like all the things that happen before you get a physical symptom, it was like that kind of clicked for me. It was like, yeah, you're right. Like so many, that's why people think they're healthy until they're not. So that's why you think that it's age, because it's not. It's just the time that you were mistreating yourself, you know?
Yeah, I finally kind
And
of
then it finally
slid
turned
down
into
that hill
symptoms.
and fell off the cliff. And then, yeah, and then our medical system just wants to like numb the symptom without helping you get back up off the cliff.
So that I fought for years. Like I just started the Prozac like in September because for so long I kept saying, this is not just anxiety. There's something happening. I don't want you to cover it up. But then it finally got to where I was, you know, at my wit's end. I had to do something. But, you know, hopefully that's somewhere I can work towards
Yeah.
in the future, getting less and less of that. So
Yeah, I mean, and 100%, you know, getting those symptoms reduced can help you then focus on fixing that hole, fixing that root problem, like whatever's going on. Absolutely. And that's even kind of what this diet is for a lot of people. It's, we just need to calm down all the fire and then figure out which test to run next. Because your body's on fire. We got to put that out first. And this is the fastest way to do that. And then,
that's a great sales pitch right there, because when I went to like functional medicine, it was like, well, it could be one of 800 things. So here, give me $7,000 and I will give you a test for everything, which will come back normal. Like and you found nothing. So food is the only thing you can point to. So I'll cling to that. But it wasn't in a way that was functional. Plus the dietitian I was working with previously, you could tell she was answering to the doctor. Like she wasn't just being able to tell me to do what I wanted, you know, what she thought was best. It was like, well, doctor thinks that you need these supplements, so let's introduce those as well, to where I got onto 100 supplements and didn't know which ones were helping, and I spending thousands of dollars each month to keep up with them. And it just, I just quit it all, you know. It was, I know. Even I'm a social person, and just being able to go to book club meetings or a craft night or something and be able to just not look, only if there's carrot sticks, that's all I can participate in. And I just, you know, it just feels so much more freeing. And then on top of being freed psychologically, I feel better, you know. It's not just that I'm suddenly allowed to eat, it's that eating is not harmful to me anymore. It's not scary, and it's helpful. It's healing.
Yay.
So glad you came along, because this is just different than, I mean, how else? You spend hours Googling dietitians or functional medicine doctors, and you just don't know what you're getting into. You have to go word of mouth.
There is so much skepticism, which I understand, especially chronic illness. Like you've tried a zillion things. You know, and how do you like trying to explain to people who don't understand the behind the scenes, like, let's work on your diet to fix your migraines. Like for a lot of people, that's what, why? And yeah, I just never know, like, what do I say to people to get them to realize this matters?
And you approach it in a very non-judgmental way, to where you're not like, well, yeah, I mean, I did have coconut sugar that one time, you know, like it's just, well, you're human and that's okay. You know, it's, whereas before it was, that's part of, again, what put me in this mindset of I have to be perfect at it or I won't feel good. And that wasn't, I mean, that's what my therapist was always like, this is not sustainable. You cannot be doing this. And, you know, she went to the verge of saying, I'm not saying you have an eating disorder, but you have disordered eating and we need to deal with it. So
yeah,
it's,
and that's common. I
luxury of
mean,
quitting.
that the number of people who are yeah, I'm afraid to eat. They're like, I don't have an eating disorder, like regarding my weight, but I'm afraid to eat. And that is sadly a very, very common phrase I get from people. So when we start out, but
And
I
that
hope
is
you don't
where,
feel afraid to eat anymore.
no, I don't at all. And that's like, even when I would have to take my weights, I was like, I don't even care, because if I ate a lot of like high fat cashews today, I don't care, because it was healthy and I feel good, and that's what matters. Yeah, I don't know. I think you know who my doctor was, and I didn't think there was anything wrong with him, but I also didn't feel like he was invested in me at all. It was just, you were expected to show up when you were expected to show up so that you could get your supplements, and nothing really ever changed. Like they'd be like, he wants to see you in 3 months. For what? Nothing's changed. Like you're not doing anything but giving me more tests. So you have to mark it.
Just do it. Just trust me. Just trust me.
And that's what it is, because and that was the trusting you is what got, was so helpful, because it's like, even if something goes terribly wrong, that's okay. I can reach out and we'll figure it out. Like there's always a way to figure it out. And I've got a team now, like I feel like in 90 days when I'm ready to take the next step, I know where to go. Nothing to lose and so much to gain. I'm a happy customer, and it was, worth getting my life back. All right. Well, thank you so much. I am so grateful.
You're very welcome. And yeah, I appreciate it completely. Thank you for all the feedback. And yeah, just keep me posted as we go. Thank you much. And keep going.
Thank you. All right. Have a great day.
Take care,
Bye.
Kathy. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye-bye.